Welcome back, fellow GMs. Today we're going to dive into a concept that's going to help you refine your one-shots and campaigns. The four dials that help set the tone of your game. These sliders help you tailor the experience by adjusting the realism, mood, magic, and consequences. You can think of them as the core dials that shape your world, your player actions, and the overall feel of the story. So, let's take a closer look at how these sliders work, as well as how can you use them to transform your game. Fantasy logic rules the world. The setting might be whimsical. The rules of physics might be out of the window, and the suspension of disbelief is through the roof. How does this world operate? What is the purpose? You don't care. You're not playing this game to answer these questions. In low realism setting, the players will feel more free to experiment, take bigger risks, and lean into more creative or wacky character choices. The characters and NPCs will be bigger than life with much more exaggerated personalities. You will tell whimsical stories filled with dramatic twists, bizarre encounters, and more outlandish situations. The world operates on some strict rules. Everything has a purpose and a logical explanation. This makes the world feel solid, lived in, but also harsh. In contrasts, players will be more cautious, careful, and take more calculated decisions in the higher realism setting. The characters and NPCs will be more grounded with more realistic motivations, flaws, and limitations. Actions will be more predictable because motivations and goals are much more logical and much closer to real life. This type of setting also promotes a greater sense of immersion and responsibility for their actions. The stakes usually feel higher because the outcomes are much more grounded. Fun, adventurous, maybe even comical. The world has consequences, but they are not overwhelming. The tone might be whimsical or heroic with lots of opportunities for levity. When the mood is light, the world itself is literally brighter. And even though there's conflict, it's framed in more lighthearted or even comedic way. The NPCs in the setting are much more optimistic on the outlook towards the world. The players feel more relaxed. They have more time to make jokes and stress much less about failure. The characters are less likely to face moral dilemmas and more likely to get into some silly situations. The tone is serious, grim, and intense. Themes like death, betrayal, and political intrigue are front and center. When the mood is dark, the world is grim, dangerous, and oppressive. Themes of corruption, decay, and loss are much more front and center. The stories you're going to tell are going to be more intense, there'll be higher stakes, and definitely more emotionally charged moments. Even victories will come at a much higher cost. Players are more serious and deliberate in their decisions because the weight of potential loss and danger encourages a more careful playstyle. But this also allows the players to explore deeper, more somber aspects of their characters. Magic is rare, mysterious, and perhaps feared. It's found in myths and maybe in the hands of select few. The world is largely non magical, so finding a magical artifact or learning a spell is a very big deal. When magic is low, it is rare, dangerous, and often costly. Society may fear it or revere it, and the magical elements are either legendary or hidden. Magic is rare as a tool and might be used as the plot device but it's not something that characters fully understand or even rely on all the time. Players, when they do come into contact with magic, will understand how rare and precious it is. This will make the rare moments when this does happen feel special. Characters may be more defined by their skills, wits, and physical abilities. If they are spellcasters, their magic is much more restricted, often requiring creativity or resourcefulness to use effectively. Magic is everywhere. It's part of everyday life. There are floating cities, there are magical creatures talking to mortals. The spells and artifacts are used as readily as technology in our world. When magic permeates every aspect of the world begins operating on fantastical magical laws. You will tell plots that include interdimensional travel, or ancient prophecies, or godlike creatures. Players will feel empowered to use magic to incorporate it in their strategies, problem solving, and even character design. Magic can drive creativity and may become the central point of the campaign or approach that the players take to the game. The spellcasters, especially, will have vast powers. Even non magical or non magic using characters may wield artifacts and enchanted weapons, and those might become a defining aspects of who they are. The thing to remember, though, is in this type of world, using magic is as exciting as it is to use a microwave for you and me. The world is more forgiving. Players can get away with wild antics without severe repercussions. They might take more risks because they know failure is an option. When consequences are low, the world resets or brushes off major events. The cities quickly recover from disasters, and major player decisions don't have lasting consequences. Setbacks are quickly resolved or even forgotten. Failure is but a minor inconvenience. Players don't need to consider the ramification of their choices going too far into the future, and characters are not punished, and the game tends to be more forgiving, allowing for a more playful experimentation. Every action has weight. Players can lose their characters, they can affect the world in massive ways, and failure often has severe and long lasting consequences. When consequences are high, any player action could potentially have a world changing consequences. The players will be much more careful in considering how to solve a problem or how to move forward, because anything they do, whether good or bad, will reflect on the world and shape the world around them. The beauty of these sliders is you can adjust them to create the game or story that you and your table want to tell. There is no solution that fits every single table, and there shouldn't be one. Everyone is different, and there's literally infinite number of different stories to tell in infinite number of different worlds. So find the one that works for you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, do comment on what combination do you prefer. For me, I like high realism, a darker mood, medium magic, and fairly high consequences. So something like realism 7, mood 6 or 7, magic 5, and consequences 7. See you in the next video, but for now, stay geeky.